This is Odin Knight from the show. This is a message to all the white men out there, whether you are part of the alt-right movement, a racist, not a racist, bigot, not a bigot, homophobe, not a homophobe, whatever. You're white and you're male. And you got a lot of backlash at some point in time, or you feel that your way of life is threatened. It isn't. Not by any reasonable people, it isn't. So if you are concerned with the feminazis out there, the new Black Panthers, some radical Islam, or whatever other boogeyman, whether real or perceived, is out there, instead of making enemies, make friends. Because from my standpoint, whenever I see racism or sexism, I don't care what the color of their skin is. If it's a black person doing it to a white person, that's wrong. Just as wrong as a white person doing it to a black person. If a female is being sexist towards a male, that is just as wrong as a male being sexist towards a female. Now, yes, you will have your idiots out there who want to say a bunch of words to try and look brave, whether they want to secretly spray paint it in some school bathroom or post some blog on the net or even yell it in public. Whoop-de-doo. I had to learn to get over that stuff real quick because they're idiots wanting to be idiots. But the real problem, the real issue, is when they try to make policy. And for those who are currently in the alt-right pro-white nationalism group, you think that you have the opportunity to make policy. I only need to look at history to see that when you start pushing that pendulum too far, it will swing back and it will knock you over. So if you are a white male and you feel like you have to pick a side because there's so many voices out there of feminazis or other racists and bigots who will hate white people just because they are white, instead of trying to hide from anybody that doesn't have lily white skin, come out. Try to find out who your enemies are and who your friends are. Because you will find in the black populace at large that we won't tolerate that nonsense. Because we sure as heck didn't like it. And yeah, there'll be some idiots who will say, well, good, now you know how it feels to be like us. They're idiots too. Malcolm X and Martin Luther King both wanted freedom and equality for all. Malcolm X in his later years is like, hey, you know what? Yeah, my hardline stance beforehand, a little too extreme, because he understood finally that the pendulum would swing the other direction if he pushed too hard. And while he talked a lot about black liberation and black freedom and being able to walk and talk any way and enjoy the comforts that any white man would allow and enjoy amongst themselves, he also talked about the poor, regardless of skin color. Same thing with Dr. King. Same thing with every other civil rights leader as far back as I can think of. I mean, even W.B. Du Bois, who wrote on the formation of what would now be the NAACP, he wrote that we need to look out for all people And even there may come a time where we would have to look out for the white man, just to make sure they don't have to deal with the same problems that we've dealt with before. So for those of you who just have to feel like you got to pick a side and stay with it because nobody else is looking out for you, just watch which side you're picking. Because that pendulum will swing the other direction hard if you push too far. My suggestion, make friends. Get to know people. If you are the type that say, you know, don't have a problem with anybody else, but, you know, these immigrants keep coming over here and taking our jobs. Who's hiring them? Who's trying to get H-1B visas sponsored for them? If you're wondering about another human being who just so happens to have a different skin color than you, trying to get an education in this country, trying to do something among themselves to improve their status in life, and you're hating on them because of that? That can't be the real reason. I refuse to believe that any rational human being can think that way and say, yes, because this person here with a different skin color is doing better for themselves, I'm going to hate them. What's the real fear? What's the real concern? Because if your political leaders are doing the job right, there'll be plenty of jobs to go around for everybody here. New careers, new jobs, new trade skills will be needed in the 21st century for stuff that hasn't even been made yet. We should be the R&D country of the entire world. Don't blame them because less than 1/10 of 1% of them is coming over here, get the opportunity to come over here and get an education. And if you're concerned about them taking a job and you're qualified for the exact same job, and you're worried, the quota system here, blah, 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 you know, it's going to fill up with just unqualified people. Yeah, I've seen that used before. Honestly, I've been a victim of that quota system too. 2 black guys and 2 white guys going in for the same job. Not going to mention the company. 1 black guy gets it. The other 3 of us are out. That black guy not nowhere near qualified as the rest of us. Nowhere near it. But he got it because for the lowest amount of skills that he has, he could get paid the lowest. They meet their quota, everybody's happy. At least on their side. They could say they hire minorities and, you know, we're equal opportunity employers. While they save on the bottom line, and the other 3 of us, thankfully, are doing better because we are qualified. You know, we still have to go look for a job. But that's the reality of it. So instead of harping on people on leadership who say, well, we need to have a quota system here, let's harp on them actually getting good paying careers and good paying jobs available to people who are qualified. Because that good old boy system still exists. Some of you know it. But that good old boy system can go against you if you're not careful. And instead of trying to do the very same thing that you don't want to have happen to you, why not just try and say, you know what? The playing field should be available to everybody who can meet or exceed the criteria necessary for it, and we'll go off of ability. and capability instead of skin color. So if you feel like you're being harassed by some crazy social justice warrior because you're a white man, instead of hating on everybody else who's not a white man, why don't you say, look, I have my own concerns. I only want to date white women as a white man. I'm fine with that. But these people here say I'm racist because I only like white women. That is not racist. Now, if you're saying you won't date a black woman or a Hispanic woman because they're black or Hispanic and they're XYZ dirty, XYZ horrible, XYZ can't do anything, XYZ blah, 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 you need to check yourself a little bit there. But if you're only attracted to white women because that's what gets you going, fine, no problem. That's different. You're good. Go ahead. Nobody's going to hate on you for that. When you start saying that no white man should date out of their race or marry out of their race or procreate out of their race, that social construct that we call race, that's a problem. But I get it, though. If you like white babies, that's cool. Not a problem. Not a problem. Make as many as you want. Just don't tell somebody else who they should or shouldn't procreate with. They can marry and have kids with whoever they want. That's not a problem. We're humans. Last time I checked, human. Last time I checked, can procreate. I mean, you're really splitting hairs. You know, next thing you know, you'll say that, hey, you know what? Blonde hair, blue-eyed people don't breed with redheads. That's an odd one. That's a conundrum right there. And it sounds crazy, doesn't it? So what's next on the I got to defend myself because of, my white identity is going to go away. Identify what is white. Is it the hodgepodge of British, German, French, Northeast Spaniard, Northern Italian, Northwest Greek, Western Romanian? What? Or is it the American culture there? Well, the American culture is the big hodgepodge of all of that, and then some, including Moroccan, Iranian, North and Southern African, Indian, Chinese, Mexican, South American. Well, that's America. The only people you should really hate on are the people who are trying to hate on you. And those are those people, not an entire group of people. So please, if you have a concern about feeling that you as a white male will be disenfranchised, by all means, come and hang out with the people who have been disenfranchised beforehand. You will find that we, for the majority of us, are very welcoming. And if you find there's some people who aren't as welcoming, let us know. We'll smack them upside the head for you. And heck, you'll probably be our friends too. You get to smack them upside the head too. The bottom line is that if you want to make sure that your rights are secured as a white male and that nobody's going to disenfranchise you, nobody's going to ostracize you or demonize you, Make sure you're not doing it to all the other people that aren't white men. And make friends with all those people that aren't white men so that they can watch your back and make sure that you're not being demonized by some feminazi or racially profiled or beaten up by some stupid new Black Panther idiot or wannabe gangster. That's it. And it is really that simple. Once you try, it is really that simple. Think about it. Have a good night.